Hello there. Thank you for joining me. The painting we're going to do today is we're going to do some brightly colored boats. They've come in from the day of fishing, and although they're colored real brightly to give the effect of, you know, the end of the day, sort of a restful scene, we have painted the sky, underpainted it rather, with Payne's gray, white with a touch of Payne's gray. So let's just go right onto the palette, mix up our gray, and get started. Okay, white, a touch of Payne's gray. We're going to underpaint the whole sky area and the water with this color. White with the touch of Payne's gray. Now you don't want this to be dark. You just want to tint your white just a little bit. This is giving us the mood at the, just like I said, the end of the day. A bright sky would have had too much gaiety and too much life to the painting, and this is a peaceful, restful scene. Okay, now this is going to take just a minute or two, just so bear with me. I hope you can even see the paint flowing on the canvas, because it does have to be so light in value to work, but this is just a necessary part of the painting, something that just has to be done. And I'm be going back to the palette every so often, but I'm just reloading the brush. I'm not mixing any of the colors yet. When you're doing this, you might want to use a big brush like I'm doing so you can cover your area pretty hurriedly. This is a sail up in here. We just skim right around it. Just fill it in. Now remember, this is white tinted with Payne's gray. And I pre-sketched my canvas so I know exactly where to put this. That saves a lot of time. Down this side. Another little boat over in here. And I'm going to go back to the canvas at the top on the left side and continue to fill it in. You probably can't see where I filled in and where I haven't yet. Losing a little bit of thinner out of my brush, but I might just have to dodge it every so often to keep from getting it all over me. Now I'm not using a medium with this. This is just white, Payne's gray, and a little bit of whatever you use to wash your brush with. Okay, down the side here, in front of the boats. You see, if we were using a color here, you could actually see the shapes of the objects, the boats or the post or whatever we're painting in there, but since we're using such a light value, so close to the color of the canvas, I'm not sure that you're going to be able to pick it up on your television set, so I'm just going to have to entertain you with my wit while I'm doing this. Just about have it covered now. A few more strokes and we'll be in business. Now you're going to see why I did this in just a minute. It's really just a necessary part of this painting to get the beautiful effect that we really want in it. Now I'm going to wash my brush, dry it, load it ever so stingily with yellow ochre. I mean, be stingy with it because you don't want a lot of color in this painting until you get to the boats. Now I'm going to whip this color in at the right top of the canvas, and I'm going to work down to the middle sky. Notice that I'm using a whipping stroke. I'll go back to the top and whip, 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 whip down to the middle. Going to reload and go to the left side of the canvas at the top and lay some color in there. Work down to the middle. And notice when I come down to the middle of the sky, what do? I lighten the pressure on my brush. Heavy pressure at the top, lighten as you move down. Also using sort of little downward curved strokes That gives you a pleasing effect. You just don't want this to be filled in too solid. Let's go back over here and add a little more color in this corner. Okay, now I'm going to wipe my brush and load it with alizarin crimson. Going to be stingy again. Alizarin is so strong. If you've ever gotten in the bristles of a new brush, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It colors your bristles and you can hardly get the color out of them, so I'm adding a touch of the background color to this mixture. Let's start in the middle sky here, right above the boats. And let's use the whipping strokes here. Work across to the left. Try ever so hard not to get it too solid. Work right on up. Okay, this is a sail that's right here. Let's put a little, it's two sails. Let's put a little between the sails. And let's see. That's that sail right there. Here's another one. Another sail right there. Let's move on over to the right and add some more of this beautiful color. All the way down to the, oh, this is going to be a little bitty boat back in the, well, between the middle ground and foreground, isn't it? Let's add a little bit of this color there. And then let's check the left side to see if we need to add it there, and I think we do. Add a little bit right here. Now, isn't that just about the biggest mess you've ever seen? Just a messy, messy, messy. Now I'm taking a clean brush. This is fan brush. It's dry, and I'm going to blend these strokes out now. I'll start over here on the right. Blend these colors together. See how it's just pushing right down into the gray now. Trying to lose all the strokes that I can. Lose any harsh edges that I can. Anywhere that I have an area that looks too bright, what am I going to do? You got it. I'm going to load with the gray and go back over it. But so far I don't see any that's really bothering me. Not yet anyway. Okay, let's blend this corner a little bit. Pretty, pretty, pretty as a picture. Let's work from the left side of the canvas across now and get a smooth mirror finish with vertical strokes. All the way across. That also gives us the peaceful feeling. If I'd left a lot of activity going on with my brush strokes and my paint swirling, that would have given us what? A busy feeling. Okay, now let's add a cloud. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm using white and the tip of the fan brush. Let's see. Let's plop it in right here between these sails. Continue on over to the left. Let's take it off on this side. Do something exciting with it. You're not going to pay too much attention to this cloud once this painting's finished because these are going to be so bright they're just going to move forward. Now I'm going to blend the bottom of the cloud down with just a tad. And we want it to be a soft cloud, not heavy, not harsh, to add to what? The peaceful feeling. Okay, I'm going to blend down with the vertical strokes. And I think I'm about ready to start laying in some well, I tell you what, I've got a minute. Let me darken behind this cloud and push it forward just a little bit. In a spot or two. upward into the sky, away from the cloud when you're blending it in. Now what I'm going to have to do now, you got it, the vertical strokes again. I like it and I love it. Have a girl in one of the night classes, I'm going to use one of her phrases, she just makes them up as she goes along. It looks artful. She has her own vocabulary, and we laugh all the time. As she's moving along, she just makes these words up. Okay, let's start laying in some cells now. This is yellow, ochre, and white. This is our middle value, and I'm going to catch all 4 cells. This is our middle value, so where am I putting it? You got it, in the middle of the cell. Because we want it to look artful. Okay, let's lay our shadow in so that you can see exactly what we're doing here. You can see the shape of the cells. Okay, our light is going to come from the left, zooming across here. So what we're going to do is lay in shadows. And lo and behold, you're going to be able to see a cell that is, wrapped around, or furled, or what, no. Yeah, I guess you call it, well, I know what unfurl means. I don't know what furl means, so I won't use that. Shadowed side, blend. Shadowed side, blend. 2 straight. Straight lines do what? Harsh, hard, not peaceful. Not a peaceful look. Harsh lines are heavy and, well, you really think of office buildings and things of that sort, not a peaceful effect. Okay, let's see how straight are we getting. I think we're going to be able to work with that. Now I'm going to wash my brush and dry it and put the light side on. I'm using white with the touch of Hansa yellow there. Light side. Light side. Light, 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 light. Light, light. And just plop it right in there. Now while I'm working in that area so that I don't forget them, I'm going to go ahead and put the mast in. Now wouldn't you think I know a lot about sailing? Calling that a mast? Sure I do. Know exactly nothing. I had to ask my husband, what do you call this thing? I know how to paint it, but I don't know what it is. Okay, let's get to the boats now. This boat's going to be bright red. I'm going to start in the shadowed area on it. This is a little shadow under the top part that he didn't know what to call and I didn't know what to call either. So I'm just going to call it the top part. This boat is behind this one, so we're going to have to darken this area a little bit. This boat's going to be a pretty alizarin crimson with the touch of Payne's gray for the underpainting. Now I'm adding more alizarin as I move out of the shadow. Now I'm continuing to add more alizarin. And a touch of cad red light. This whole area has to be filled in. Okay, now our light's coming from where? Remember we discussed it. Here. So this side of the boat has to be much brighter, doesn't it? Now you know it does. You know that. And while we're working here, we don't have to try to keep our water line clean because we're going to pull reflections down in just a few minutes. First thing I want to do is just get the boats laid in so that you can be kind of examining them while I'm finishing up. This is a mixture of cerulean blue, Payne's gray with a touch of white. Now, I do know this is called a bow stem. A bow stem. We did look that up in the dictionary. I mean, in the encyclopedia. My husband said, well, that's a bow stem. I said, well, that doesn't sound right to me. So, like all husbands do, he had to prove his point. He got the encyclopedia. And sure enough, it was what? A bow stem. Okay, this is the blue boat. Let's just go ahead and fill it in. This is your cerulean blue, little bit of Payne's gray, little bit of white. This is our light side. Okay, it's in front of this boat, so what does that tell us? It has to be farther down in the water, doesn't it? Dark side, you add Payne's gray to your mixture. It also has a blue top on it. Let's make it a little bit lighter blue so we'll be able to see it. Okay, I'm going to take a minute or two and kind of dress it up a little. Let's put a little, I don't know what you call it, but let's put it there. Little lip, maybe? Let's go to this boat and do the same thing. Okay, now we have two small boats behind these, and this is a mixture of, you didn't even need to see me mix this. This is sap green, burnt umber, little bit of yellow ochre, and a little bit of white. Let's work around. See how beautifully these colors are working together now. They're behind the other, so what does that tell us? Have to be higher on the canvas. Higher on the canvas. Bow stem. I'm going to fill the other one in, and then I'll go back and do a little bit. It's one on this side. I should have told you that. Then I'll go back and do a little shadowing on them. A little bit of Payne's gray, and I'll work on the one on the left first. The bow stem and backwards. Right back up in there. Go to the one on the left. Did I say left or right a while ago? I'm still trying to learn my left and right. It seems like when I get busy, I forget. The world's moving. I got my mind on my paint. Okay, let's take a minute and add some let's add some nets and things hanging over the boat. That's adds so much to this painting like this. And they would just be all over the place, just kind of laying, just thrown up in there. Let's make a net out of it. How about a little over on this side? Let's put a top on this green boat. How about a top on this one? A few nets hanging over here too. Both sides. And maybe one hanging right here. And a highlight on it. Okay, now let's add some reflections in the water. You're just going to love that. It makes it so pretty, you just can hardly stand it. I'm going to start off with the alizarin in Payne's Gray. Go to the green. Your brush doesn't have to be ever so clean for this because all of these reflections are going to kind of mingle together in just a minute. You do want to wash it between each reflection though, or wipe it. Now the blue. Missed a bow stem, didn't I? I'm going to put it in right now before I forget it again. Okay, now I'm going to take the fan brush and make these reflections wiggle just a little bit. Have to keep in mind all the time, this boat is farther behind, so the reflection is going to have to go up higher. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle your reflections, not yourself. Take them up higher. So far, so good. Is that one anchored in that water? Let's see. I think it'll do. I'll pull it down on this side just a little bit more, right in the front. Okay, now let's put some, I see a little canvas right there I'm going to fill in. I don't want to be too persnickety, but I want it to look right. Okay, water lines. We got a bunch of water lines that we have to put in there. And notice how these water lines are laid in. They're not great big curves. They are little bitty angles. And I'm going to have to be reloading a whole bunch because I have to keep wiping my brush and reloading it because I am working over such wet paint. My brush is picking every bit of it up. All of the wet paint. Okay, I have to keep in mind now this boat's in front of that one, so these water lines have to be lower on the canvas. Right on up the side to my green boat. I'll take some burnt umber and kind of brace this by putting a few posts in it. I'm going over to the left side and add a few over there too. Then I think I'll highlight with yellow ochre and white. Then what am I going to have to do? You got it? You got to soften the reflection. Then you got to add your water line. Now this boat wouldn't be anything at all. These boats wouldn't be anything at all if they didn't have a bunch of ropes and things like that on them, would they? To do that, I'm going to make my paint real thin and use my script liner and just add these all over the place. Some of them hang over there. Let's put a mast on that one too. He's as good as the rest of them. Wonder if we want one over here. Why not? Why not? Now remember, to do this, you have to keep this paint ever so thin. Ever so thin. And these ropes just hang everywhere, all over the place. Here and there. You always have some going to the front of the boat. It's real pretty if you have some ropes hanging over the sides, but what are you going to have to do? If the boat's dark, the dark ropes are not going to show, so you have to go with a lighter color paint, don't you? I think I'm going to put a shadow under here real quickly to separate that top, you know, that I didn't know what you call it, from the boat. Now, painting like this wouldn't be complete if you didn't have just a bunch of birds in the sky, so let me just take a minute or two and add quite a few. Just mustache birds, big birds, small birds. The closer to the horizon, the smaller they're going to be. And they would be all over the place. Let's hook maybe a rope here. And I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to highlight this bow stem. And then I'm going to step back and take a little check on it and see if I like what I've done. And if I do, I'm just going to call it quits for today. I certainly have enjoyed working with you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Next week.